Hello, hello, hello. Our intro should be playing. We are live.
Hey, everybody. We are super excited.
Yes.
Spicy Season Sisters podcast. We are here for episode 2, and our theme tonight is living out loud.
Love it.
Woo! Yes,
Living out
yes.
loud. Yes.
Okay. So we want to introduce ourselves really quickly. We are back. My name is Rynette Upon-Bush, aka the Next Level Chick.
Yes. Hey, everybody. My name is Farra, and I'm known as your number one Grace girl.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm LaToya Frazier. I'm known as your CEO partner.
All right. I'm simply Tammy.
Okay. Well,
This
we're
is
super
Tammy.
Good
excited.
evening. I am Coach Gayl Benson, your favorite cognitive behavior coach.
Woo!
Love it. Love it. Love
Yes,
it. Love it.
yes. We are super excited to be here tonight again for episode 2, Living Out Loud. And so last week, just kind of want to recap, we talked about checking your BS.
So
And
good.
BS means belief systems. And so, with that being said, a lot of times 40 plus, we have been kind of stuck in what had happened, but we're moving from those belief systems and stepping out, showing up, showing out, and starting to live out loud. And
Yes.
so that's what we're talking about tonight, actually living out loud. Last week, we talked about tools to break the cycles that we've been stuck in at the 40 plus age. We're not going to stay still, stuck and stagnant, but we're using tools to move past those things of what happened to us. We are now reclaiming, our power, breaking free from the past and any struggles we've had, and we're living out loud. Again, we're showing up and showing out. And so
Yeah.
some of the things that we talked about last week that really could help you to move forward from those belief systems that we've been stuck in, we talked about going to therapy. That's really a big thing, because before we thought that, oh my God, we can't go to therapy. That's crazy. We don't do that, especially as Black people, but we do that now. Okay. That's what we do. We also have gotten to the space and place where we want to have open conversations with family, okay? Because just keeping quiet, that's not going to grow us. So we should be able to have those open conversations. I know y'all remember back in the day, it was very hard sometimes to speak to our parents. They didn't talk to us and we didn't talk to them. We talked to our friends.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
that's not how you do it. We don't do it like that. If you are in a family and it's issues and it's problems, why are we keeping that inside instead of talking about it, instead of discussing it?
Right.
Saying they're having problems seeing hold on. I'm getting messages that they can't see the podcast.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Let's find out which platform that is. It's probably a specific platform.
It's Facebook. I'm not
Facebook.
seeing it
Facebook.
myself. I'm not. Hold
Yeah,
on.
I don't see it on Facebook either.
I'm not
Yeah.
seeing it at all.
Trying to grab it.
Okay. Hopefully we can get
I
on.
see it live on my page. Do you see it, girl?
Let me get to Gail's page. We're going to get there. We're going to get
Yeah,
there.
I'm
we'll get
on the page. I'm just not seeing it yet. Hold on.
So we have activity from YouTube, so we may want to grab the link from YouTube and copy it to our pages.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Y'all know we have these little quirks and things happening, but you know what? That don't stop nothing. When you got something good going on, distractions try to come. But we're not going to be caught up in distractions, honey. We got a podcast to do, and we are living out loud. Okay, y'all can see us on YouTube. Great. I see from Dr. Mary Wise that she can see us on YouTube. So let's go to YouTube and share it. Gayl, can you put the link in our comments so we can go ahead and share it out?
Awesome. And you know, everybody who's watching, we are live. So live
Absolutely.
is not a recording
Absolutely.
where it's editing. We are live. So live things happen, and we don't mind it being that. We want to make sure we get content to you. We want to make sure that we can talk to you, because recordings are great, but coming live is awesome because you're getting real-time comments, real-time questions, real-time us. And that's what we're
Yes.
here for.
The real deal, the raw and the real. Okay,
Yeah.
so ladies, while we're getting that done, I want to ask this question. How does living out loud actually put you in a space to break curses? How does living out loud put you in a space and place to actually break the curses? We last week when we talked about, traditions and superstitions, how are we able to break these traditions that were negative, the superstitions, the curses, the generational curses, because we've chosen to live out loud? Let's get into this. Who wants to take that question?
I'll start off because I love this question actually, because living out loud is really putting a stop to those things and those words that have been spoken out over your life, those negative things, right? So, she's never going to amount to anything. How can she accomplish anything? She's not a college graduate. And, living out loud and, stepping out in courage and stepping out and being scared is showing people that, you know what, you are breaking curses with just stepping out and just starting scared. And believe it in yourself, because I'm sure that each and every one of us have had people speak some negative words over us. I mean, I remember being in school, starting dental assisting school, and my instructor, she didn't have that many kind words to say to me starting school, and I'm like, I'm here. You're an educator. I'm here. Give me that. Give me that I showed up. And if I had started out with her words as an instructor, I've been in the industry over 30 years.
Absolutely.
Going from being, a young brown girl in Brooklyn, New York, going to school to be a dental assistant, growing in my field, growing into an administrator, now managing a huge multi-million-dollar practice. Just imagine, if I had stayed stuck there. And that's just one person. I'm using her as an example, but we encounter that with friends, we encounter it with family, and I'm like, what, I'm gonna live out loud. I'm gonna show up here every day. I'm gonna show up on time. I'm just gonna show up, period. You can't keep me quiet.
Okay, and that's the thing. See, as we live out loud, we're no longer quiet, because last week we talked about our voice being silenced. And so now that we've decided that we're going to live out loud, we're not stuck in that space and place where we are silent. We're stepping up, we're showing out, and it is totally making a difference. So who else wants to talk about this question? Because we really have to choose to move past those traditions, superstitions, and break these curses. So, you want to talk about it, Gayl?
I really do. I was definitely getting ready to step up to the plate because, we have to think about where these words come from, that they form limiting beliefs for us. And you have to understand that these traditions and these limits that are placed on us come out of a place of fear for the people who share them with us. It comes out of the fear of the things that they weren't able to do. So they'll line you up to believe that you cannot do that. And that encapsulates us in other people's view of our capacity. We've accepted and embraced their fears of what they think the world has to offer them. So we have to believe enough in ourselves and understand the value that we have. We have to spend that time of connecting with why we've been seeing the world through the lenses that we have. We've been given a bad prescription, people, to tell you the truth. I mean, they gave us what they had, but not realizing that we're inheriting the fears that they got from their parents. And to keep it all the way real, a lot of this fear comes from the systemic oppression of our ancestors. So we were placed in a box, and whether it was intentional, subconsciously, unconsciously, we still have received a double dose of fear, except without having our 2020 vision for life and what we can do with our lives. So we have to take the time to, here we go with that stink onion, peel that onion back and get to the core so that we could get rid of the stink and start seeing ourselves for
Yeah.
what God made us to be and not living in the limitations of other people's fears.
That's so good.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that leads me in to say something, and I want to speak. You know, Black women are minimalized. We have been minimized since day one. Okay, and as Black females, you know, we have to start looking at ourselves a little differently, and we have to do this with effort. We get in our habits and we continue the tradition because it's a tradition and habits are hard to break.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, we are
Mhm.
the mothers, the wives, the granddaughter. We're taking care of everything and everybody, and we're the most minimized person on the earth.
Mhm.
Okay? And we worry about how other people look at us, how other people see us. What we need to do is look inward, make ourselves better women, and then exude that out. That takes effort. It takes time. It takes focus. Okay? If
Yeah.
we do that, and let me tell you something, you don't always have to say a lot. Just move and do, move and groove and do. And people will see, because people already have their idea of who you are when they see you.
Yeah.
They don't know who you are inside.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. We spend too much time trying to prove ourselves to other people. It starts within.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. LaToya, did you want to
Right.
add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, you know, just looking back in terms of my corporate career, I was usually the youngest, the only African American, and or the only woman. So I had many things that were stacked against me, right? So I'm going into these rooms where I have to present who I am, but I have all these things that society or whatever we want to call it may have a particular stigma for whatever reason. So I felt like I had to show up differently as opposed to being my authentic self, right?
Yeah.
So I, you know, based on the lessons learned during that process, I have learned to show up authentically and unapologetically as to who I am. And I think it has given me more confidence, is giving me more respect from my peers in those spaces. But then sometimes you feel like you have to explain who you are as an individual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
So,
that's one thing. I mean, what we not gonna do at 40 plus is start explaining and giving all of these explanations. If
No,
you
get
say,
somebody else to
if
do
you
it.
choose to live out loud, if you say no, if you say yes to something, whatever it is, we don't
right.
owe anybody an explanation. The only person
Explanation.
you need to explain it to and understand is you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so many times people
Right.
feel like you said, LaToya, oh my God, I've got to give this explanation. And as we said, we've been minimalized. And even the point that we've decided, oh, we're going to live out loud. You get criticized for that. Well, who does she think she is? Well,
Yeah.
she thinks she all that. Well, she too old for that. And sometimes because we hear that, people get stuck in this situation of hearing what people said. But when you choose to live out loud and being a spicy seasoned sister,
Oh,
and
yeah.
y'all are too who are joining us, we don't conform to their thoughts and we don't conform to their fears. We move forward, we move out loud, and we do it anyways.
Yes.
Because we're doing this thing unapologetically, okay?
Yes.
We're doing this thing boldly, okay? We're doing it courageously. And some people, oh my God, I want to be bold. But when you choose to be courageous, courageous comes before that confidence. And so
Yeah.
you step out in your courageous self and not worry about what other people are saying. Because
True.
it does not, what they paying your bills? They
No.
doing something for you? No. And so we've got to move past the stale, stuck, and stagnant into what people are saying, because they are trying to impart their fears on us so that we can stop showing up and showing out. But baby, when you show up and show out, whoever you are on this podcast, wherever, and y'all are listening to us, you're helping others.
Absolutely.
Gain courage to move past their fear. And let me tell you what somebody told me fear was. Fear. F, friends. E, enemies. A, and the R is relatives. And that's what it is. Fear is friends, enemies, and relatives who, some of them, your friends, a lot of times when you have friends, y'all could be here. But baby, don't try to do this. That becomes a problem. And if you find people that have a problem with that, then you need to cut.
That's it.
You kind of move past and do what you got to do. If you have enemies, you already know they don't like you, so you don't need to be worried about them. Don't waste no time. Don't spend no time. Don't do none of that, okay? And the relatives, sometimes they want you to stay safe. They don't, you're embarrassing yourself. Oh, my God, you look so great. No, you don't. You look like that woman with courage. You look like that woman who is feeling herself, who is stepping out boldly. And that's what we should be doing. So no, don't get caught up in what other people are saying. And I know sometimes it's hard, it's scary, but we got to do scary things. Okay? We got to do scary things. And sometimes we're looking for perfect. Baby, we done had some whole technical issues tonight, okay?
Yes, that's
and
right.
I see Gayl just dropped off.
Yeah, it's okay.
And, but guess what? You got to keep going.
Keep on going.
Yeah. And distractions are going to happen, but you don't let them stop you. You keep going. So as we talk about living out loud, my question is, how can we impact the next generation by living out loud? How can we impact others and the next generations because we've chosen to live out loud?
As I was, as we were all sharing from that last question, I wanted the viewers to understand that when you say living out loud doesn't mean being loud, right?
Correct. Oh, I love that.
That's great.
Our presence alone, walking into a room, just like Toya said, I've worked in offices where I was the only African-American female out of 30 offices.
Wow.
And when you say that little bit of fear is there, that little bit of, I don't have what it takes, tries to push his way in, but my loudness is just stepping in the room, right?
Yes.
My loudness is dressing the way I want to dress. No, I'm going to be professional, but I'm not going to, be in a suit every single day.
Okay.
My loudness is my hair. I remember having to tell an office, a doctor, hey, when I come to work next week, I'm gonna have black girl hair. How about that? I'm not coming in here with my hair straight no more. I'm not perming my daggone hair.
Say that.
I'm sorry.
Right.
And we joked about it, but that's what living out loud is about. Living out loud is, the field that I'm in, it wasn't a lot of African American people in that field. And maybe me showing up now and me pushing other young people to say, hey, try this field right here. Maybe this is something you can make something out of this. Living out loud is other people seeing us be in places and spaces that they don't think they can show up in.
Yes.
That's living out loud. Being a woman in ministry, and being in these male-dominated, fields where people feel like you don't belong there. That's living out loud. That's what I call living out loud.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it just takes our presence, right? We don't even have to say anything, just our presence, just a kind word. That's living out loud, ladies. That's living out loud.
I want to say, I'm seeing comments but I'm trying to respond and I'm unable to respond. So we aren't ignoring y'all. We want the comments, keep them coming. Yeah, and so coming. as we can get to them, we'll be responding. I'm seeing them. I can't get to it on Facebook. I can't get to it on YouTube. So I'm not sure if y'all are seeing the comments. And Gayl is trying to re-enter. So, as we go on, we could be like, oh my God, this is just not working. But no, the show must go on.
Must go on.
And so, like Farra just said, that's us showing up. That's us keep going. That's us moving in spite of. That's continuing to live out loud, because guess what? Life is going to happen. And people love to say life is lifing, but life is continuing too. So are we going to stay stuck and keep life is lifing, oh my God? Or are we going to move on and continue to live out loud and move forward? And so that's how we have to live. That's how we go and grow. We can't get stuck in what is happening. We have to take that lesson and learn that, if we keep moving, that's going to be a blessing. That test is going to be a testimony. We already know that message is going to be a message. So no, we won't get stuck. We'll continue to live out loud.
Yes.
So Farrah, I love that you brought that up, and that living out loud. That's we should have probably said that from the beginning. What living out loud is, because people have different perspectives of living out loud, and we talked about Farrah and I talked about the other night. Like, I think we're the two extroverts on the podcast, and everybody else they're more introverted. And so, yeah, we are loud, but that doesn't mean we're loud everywhere. We show up, and how we show up, that brings the loud. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm going to say this. Here's the thing about women who live out loud. You can show up in a room, and this has happened to me on many occasions. I have sat in the back of the room at a church, at an event, and guess what happens? You can't hide. You can't hide, ladies. What is in you? I remember taking a job. I took a step down for a job. I had just gone back to work after having my son, and I took like a front desk job. And I remember the doctor's husband coming in and saying, "That girl at your front desk, she is not a front desk. She is the manager."
Wow.
And it's that's living out loud, right? That's that esteem part of us and that grace in us that you can't hide. Going to a church and you sitting in the back row knowing that you're a prophet, or knowing knowing that you have something to bring to the house. Like, those are things that happen over and over. It's going to happen over and over to you ladies again, especially when you're hiding from your purpose.
Right.
So living out loud, you have to live out loud, ladies. You have to walk in your purpose, because listen, show up at a weekend of greatnest and see how long that lasts. With all those women in the room. Because what happens is
pulled out.
Yeah, because when we're around each other, look at how many amazing things happen when you get in a circle of women or in a circle of people that bring the greatness out of you and that loudness out of you. I mean, I saw so much life around me, and this is what people walk in the room quiet, right? But you can't hide that. So ladies, don't try to hide your loud. That's gonna be our hashtag for tonight. Don't try and hide your loud, because you can't hide it.
You can't. And you know what? Speaking of that, we need to speak about timing.
Yes.
You put everything on your calendar except yourself.
Ooh, so good.
So get your calendar, put time for you. I know you got to make dinner. I know you have to do everything that you do, but it's about you now. Put yourself on your calendar. As we learn, Weekend of Greatness, hour a day, 7 days a week. You just put 7 hours into what? Yourself. Yeah. That's per week. Into something you want to do, something you want to accomplish. Okay.
Right.
So that now, and the other thing I want to mention is this: the people around you. We're so into everybody around. Take a peek and take a look at the people around you and see if they're really for you. Look at those people who are willing to support you and help you push up. That's so important when you're you don't even necessarily have to be down, but if you're down or you're up, it doesn't matter. Look at the people who are going to support you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We're growing. We're learning day by day by day. I have a daughter. I have to teach my daughter, okay, how to maneuver in this society. And I hope I'm doing a good job, but she's doing a good job. So apparently I am, but I have to keep showing up, and I have to keep reiterating to her the importance of what we're talking about today. Okay.
Yeah. And that's a part of living out loud. Everybody might be thinking, well, how is that? If you don't take time for you, you're not going to be the best you. So when you show up, like Farrah said, and the people know that, oh, no, she's not really the front desk person. She ought to be the manager. She ought to be the head. She ought to be the one up front, up front in a different way than just the desk. And so when we take that time and make that time for ourselves, we can show up better and live out loud. And that's a part of living out loud, is taking care of you. And when you don't do that, it's very hard. And Tammy, you really answered part of the question of how can we impact, other women, and especially the next generation. Just by that, how we move, the things we move and do. Yes, train people how to treat you. Absolutely, Suzette. Train people.
Hey, Suzette.
Yes, and I love how Mary just said, I take time for me. And that's what everybody needs to do. Make a decision to take time for you. Because when you don't take time for you and you keep ripping and running and doing all of that or whatever, you living out a tired life. Okay.
Yeah.
And we don't want to, we want to live out loud, but we want to do it in a positive way. Well, Gayl, welcome back. We're so happy.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so happy to see you, honey. Yes.
Thank you, lady. Honey. Thank you, child, honey. Listen, we are not defeated. I was going to do all that
No.
I
Not
could
defeated.
to jump in on this train, and I want to piggyback because you all have made some very valid and very real points. And I want to
Yes.
remind our spicy seasoned sisters out there is that when we do live out loud, we live boldly, and like Farrah says, let's be very definitive about what our boldness and our living
Yeah.
out loud looks like for us, because it's going to be different for every last one of us. It's not that we're being loud, but we're embracing who we are without
Right.
apologies. We have to
Right.
get ourselves off the back burner and not feel bad about it, because
Right.
we have settled into putting everybody in front of us. So my question to you all tonight for this week, and before we wrap up 2024, why not you? Why not embrace the
Why
things that
not
you see for
You.
yourself?
Love,
Exactly.
Why
love
not
it.
you? Why stop? Why quit? Instead of saying what if, say why not?
Yes.
Don't keep quitting, just keep going, because once you stop, you will never catch up. Catch up does not exist unless it's in the Heinz 57 bottle. You understand me? You have to keep going.
That's
Let the
it.
wind push you. Position yourself so that the wind will help you
Yes.
soar and not push you down. And when I
Oh,
say the wind, I mean life
Yes.
lessons, the people in your
Yes.
circle that are going to fall off, your circle's going to get smaller.
Yes.
And
For sure.
when the spicy sister in the comments said you got to train people how to
Treat
treat
you.
you. My nana
mhm.
used to say that. Teach people how to treat you. And if they don't want that lesson, you might want to evaluate why you taking time to try to teach an old dog some tricks that he don't want to learn,
Mm.
whether it's a
Mm.
man,
Ooh.
woman, or a beast. Be
Say
Yeah.
that.
prepared and be okay when you see
Yes.
that circle getting small, because you want quality over quantity.
Yes.
You
Yes.
Yes.
want endurance and elevation while you
Every-
on this journey. So thank y'all for getting me back in here. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
You know what,
And I'm
Gail?
Yes,
needing
you
I'm,
came
I'm
back
being able to
spitting
talk
fire,
about that.
baby.
We about to get a jet, so if this happens again, we can fly to each other's houses.
I know, right?
Just
Right.
roll up. Just Gail pulling right up right here. Come on, Gail. Let's jump on live.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
yes, yes.
I want to add something as well, because Tammy talked about timing, and then she also talked about support. And one of the things about timing, she was like, we got to put ourselves first. And I know that was something that I had to learn, because I was always prioritizing everyone else except myself. So, some of you that are listening may have heard me say before that, I like to time block, but I also like to put everything on my calendar, right? And I put time in there for me. There's certain days that I don't have meetings. There's certain days that I just leave it blank in case maybe I don't want to do anything that day. That's my self-care. Maybe I want to go have lunch with one of my friends. Maybe I want to spend some extra time at the gym, but I call it work-life balance. So I'm putting
Right.
myself on my calendar, and then everything else is added to that. But I have to make sure that I'm there, because I'm caring for everything and everyone else. I have to do
Right.
the same thing for myself. So work-life balance, I put everything on my calendar and schedule everything else around that. And then when it comes to support, I don't know about you ladies, but oftentimes I always heard from women in my family is that, I don't fool with a lot of women, because, women is they messy, they XYZ, blah, 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 blah. And as I look at my life today and the women that I associate with, I don't know what I would do without them,
Yeah.
So, and I
Yeah.
had that mentality.
Yes.
I can't deal with a lot of women because of X, Y, and Z, but it wasn't my experience.
Yes.
It was the experience of others. So I'm like, well, you hang with the wrong people, because I don't know what I would do without my tribe.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
And you know what?
I'm not showing up a certain
Yeah.
way. My tribe know me enough to say, hey, Toya, are you okay?
Right.
What's going on? Let's get out. Let's do this. Let's do that. And they're doing
Right.
those mental and emotional self-checks with me. Because if I didn't have that tribe, I'd be over here, what you be saying, Rynette, broke down, busted, and disgusted.
Yeah, we're not doing that. And I
We're
just
not
Right.
doing
want
that.
Dr. Mary Wise put something in the comments about, really, I'm not making these decisions right now. She's choosing her. And so, like Gayl just said, why not you? A lot of times people be like, why me? I don't understand. Why not you?
Yeah.
Why me? Yeah, try me. Yeah, you try me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you need to understand that you got to do your thing. And so even though all these things are happening, it's no need to sit up and be why me, and like LaToya just said, broke down, busted, and disgusted. You have everything it takes to do what you are called to do. So don't allow yourself to get stuck in the why me. Why not me? Don't allow yourself to get stuck around the people. We just talk about smaller circles. I mean, it ain't nothing about quantity. Okay, quantity is not about that. It's about quality. And if you're not around quality people, if you're around the wrong people, somebody called me today with a whole bunch of foolishness. I said, look, babe, we is walking into and I said we is, just like I said, we is walking into 2025, and I don't have time for this. And you know what I did? Hung up the phone. I said, don't call me with stupidness. I don't have time for that. I'm real grown. And we're not going to play these little silly games. I'm living out loud, doing the good things in life, doing the positive things in life. And anybody that can't bring that to me, and you got a bunch of negativity and foolishness going on, I'm not with that. Yeah. I'm not with that. You ain't got to like me because I love me and I live out loud. I don't care who don't like it, who got something to say about it. We hear when you at the top, you usually the topic. Okay. When you the headline up. Okay. And so people always will try to hold you back and have something to say. And we can't get caught up in that. We cannot. We are here. Every single person, not just us on this podcast, but people that are listening, y'all are here to make a difference. We're here for a purpose and a reason, and we're here for a specific season. So we have to make sure that we are on top of our game, living out loud that is going to make us happy, that is going to move us forward. And if that circle is not what people say, the circle is a cage, you better get up out that cage and find you a real tribe.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you ain't got no tribe that's really helping you grow and moving you forward, then why are you there? Gayl just talked about that. Why are you there? I listen.
Yeah, and living out loud, I think that we have to understand that we have to be comfortable being by ourselves. I love it by myself.
Good one.
I love it. I spend, people see me and they see what I'm doing, but lots of times, we're in each other's circles for like maybe no more than 2 to 3 hours. So a lot of time I'm by myself. I roll places by myself a lot of the times. I love being around my sister friends. I get so much value out of that. But living out loud can just mean that you're by yourself, and that's okay. I laugh at myself. I have pets. I laugh with them. I still have family here. So, it's okay to, be alone sometimes. It's okay.
And it's necessary. It's not just okay. It's necessary.
Learn how to,
you got to sit with yourself.
Right.
Because if you don't sit with yourself and check yourself and look at what you need to do for you, how can you really be the best you? I mean, so many people are like, oh my God, I never go to the movies by myself and I won't do this by myself. And
I will.
I mean, baby, I love me and I love being by myself. I can be with people, but I have to have that alone, that me time.
Yes.
And that's a part of helping you to live out loud and move forward. Because when you have that time and you get the woosah, you get to come out bigger, better, stronger. You ready for the next, whatever you got to do in life.
Yeah.
So we got to be at that space and place to be able to do that and be okay with it. We don't need no permission.
Right.
To do what we need to do to live out loud, to move forward, to switch. I'm proud to have Sonia Portier and Rynette as a part of my circle. Tammy, I need you in my circle. Dr.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Hey, Dr.
Yes, I'll be in your circle too, Dr.
Fantastic.
Love yourself, honey. Who will? Absolutely, Susan.
That is so true.
Can I make a suggestion to the ladies out there?
Yes.
Okay. Get yourself, and Rynette and I we have so many spiral notebooks. And we walk around with these spiral notebooks. I have 2 voice recorders. When I have a thought, I write it down. I record it. I talk into my recorder. I speak into my recorders. Okay. Get a spiral notebook. When you're by yourself, sit down and think about the things that bother you, that are negative in your life. Write down the things that are positive in your life. Okay. Look at your friend circle. I'm not telling you to go and throw away all your friends, but look at all of them. Take the time to take care of you by writing that down and putting it on paper. You should see the easels I have around my house. You should see the spiral notebooks I have all around my house. Okay. That will help you get your thought process right, because you can go right back to that. You can look at it, read it, and you can keep adding to it. And that will help you eliminate some of the things going on in your life that really don't have to be going on in your life. Okay. Also, reach out to people, reach out to coaches, life coaches. We spoke about that last week. Reach out. There's nothing wrong with having one. I had one. I needed one. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
You know what, Tammy?
And
I
it's
can't
so
wait to see what book
necessary.
it's going to be. A book that's going to come out of those spiral notebooks. Because I'm
Yes.
sure you can go back and look and say, wow.
yeah, that's what's being worked on now is my book
Yeah.
and
That's how it starts.
my shorts, but that's coming. But it's so important, and I'm telling you, get out of that gerbil that goes around in the
A monotony.
get out of there, stop
Mhm.
and focus. Don't be the gerbil the rest of your life. I'm 57 years old. I'm not gerbling
Mhm.
anymore. I'm
No more
moving up.
gerbiling.
What we not gonna
Mhm.
do at 40 plus is gerbling. Okay, that's what we not gonna do.
Hashtag no
What
gerbiling,
we
ladies.
not gonna do, like Suzette just said, no permission slips required, baby.
Required.
Ooh, permission
right.
slip. I give
There you go.
myself permission to do whatever, however, whenever. How about that?
Yeah.
Hey,
Exactly.
you want to do us a favor right now and share this out? We need to make sure that we are sharing this, because y'all know what? People need this. People need this. It's a green light. Go. This is not time
That's
to
it.
stop. I'm too old. I'm too baby. We ain't never too old.
That's
No.
right. That's right.
Get out
Love
in
that.
Absolutely
your
not.
own way. Yes.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Yep. I just
So
And
shared
we
on
I
want
want
you
to
to
say
share that.
to the community is to share with the ladies that are watching us, and even if it's a few men, welcome in. We don't discriminate. But listen,
Not.
do not be afraid. For some reason, a lot of women have adopted the mentality that they have to do it on their own, and if they reach out for help, they're somehow inadequate, not living up to the strong woman or the strong Black woman mantra that has just been erroneously thrown around here these days. Because if we feel like we're not doing it with blood, sweat, and tears, we're not doing anything. And we gotta be
Right.
on the struggle bus. And if we don't struggle
Right.
to get it, we didn't really get it, and it's not worth
Yeah.
having. And that's why you have to align yourself. Proximity is going to be your key. You need to align yourself with growth minded women, not like minded women, because you might like a
Yes.
lot of things that's to your detriment. You might like a lot of things are just distractions in the world that's
Right.
holding you back. You need
Right.
to find growth minded women that are going to not just be your cheerleader and inspire you, because we can do that all day long. But
All day long.
you need to find a community that is going to hold you accountable, that's going to charge you to do what you say you were going to do, and to help you see things bigger and greater, so you can envision yourself and visualize your success. Because if you
Exactly.
can't see it, you won't plan it and you won't do
Exactly.
it. So align yourself, get a mentor, get a coach, get a strong growth-minded community that's going to
Yes.
hold you accountable to your words. We have got to position ourselves, especially as women. We have got to position ourselves with people
Yes.
who want to see us grow, cheer us on and growing, and help you recognize some of the things that we need to stop doing. Because
Stop
we
doing.
get very comfortable
Like,
in the work. Everybody want all the results, but don't nobody want to do the
the
work.
word.
It's okay to be
The one.
uncomfortable, because you're
Yeah.
shedding.
Yeah.
You got to shed that old shell. You've been held prisoner in a nutshell. You can't break out. You
Right.
can't penetrate it. You
Right.
have got to get out of that so that you can grow. Don't leave yourself stuck in that. When you get stuck in a certain place, in a position, you conform to that, and you get conditioned to be humped over, hunkered down, and
Right.
shut down. You have
Right.
got to not be afraid to fly. Spread
Oh
your
my
Yeah.
wings and
God.
fly. And once you do it, you won't
Right.
do life any other way.
Way.
Get you a supportive community.
Yes,
And
and Gayl, with
it'll
you
feel
saying
good.
that,
It'll
I
feel good.
definitely want to say this. You have to remember we were talking about it the weekend of greatness, and I was like, this is for women that have businesses, 6 and 7 figure panel. We're gonna be doing this, and I got so many calls and messages of women saying, I'm just not ready. I don't know if I belong in the room. You got to have your mindset right. And when you decide I'm going to live out loud and I know that I'm going somewhere, I'm about to do something, baby, I don't care if I was making $10, a month. I know that I have more in me. So I'm going to get in the room. And Gayl just talked about getting in proximity. You got to get around the women that's doing the things you want to do. You got to get in spaces and places that's going to grow you. And for you to sit and think that you don't belong, you count yourself out. And one thing I'm not about to never, ever, ever do, and you shouldn't either, is count you out. You got to count you in every time. I will go sit in the room with $1 million earners, $1 billion earners. I don't care who you are. I'm going to sit next to the table. Y'all heard me tell y'all I was at that $20,000 table.
I was just about to ask you to share that story, Rynette.
6-course meal, and I was up in there, and they all made more money than me. I ain't ashamed to say it, but I was making good money too. But listen, they were passing out something I didn't even know what it was, but I'm smart enough to know I know how to watch, and I watched them. And the thing they was passing out, like I said, I know you sip it, I know what to do with it, but I watched them, and they were, they had their little spoon, and baby, I talked, okay, and I wasn't being fake and phony. I was doing what I needed to do to make sure that I would be in that room learning. And so I saw what they did, and guess what? I did it too, honey. And I kept getting invited because I didn't sit there and count myself out and think that wasn't for me. I know it's for me because I know that God called me to a higher purpose. And I know that God said that I can do all things. And so, yes, I belong in the room. I belong in the room. And I'm never going to let money count me out. I'm never going to let somebody know because they got this status or this title. Okay. Somebody don't disrespect yourself like that by staying back and holding yourself back, thinking you don't belong. You don't know what you gonna get or who you gonna see or meet that's gonna help you to get to your next level. Don't do it.
And you know what? It starts with the mindset, like you said. I think I was sharing with Gayl a few months ago. There was a party that I wanted to go to here in the area, and I said to myself, "I'm gonna crash this party. I'm crashing the party." And do you know I got 2 invites right before the party? I got 2 invites, but it was in my mind that I wanted to go, because somebody mentioned it to me. I said, well, I really want to go. I don't really know this person, but I would love to be in a room with this person, and to be a blessing to this person. And I said, I'm going to crash the party. And I didn't have to crash because I got 2 invites from 2 people that got invited. So, your name is on the list. So, when you set your mind to something and you set your heart to something and it's pure, right? And there's humility with it. And you're not doing it out, for any ill intentions. That's the thing right there is, you want to live out loud, but living out loud can go 2 ways. The Bible talks about 2 different types of women. And I want to be the woman that's a Proverbs 31 woman, right? The woman that shows up with that grace and that elegance and that peace when you walk in the room. Not like they're like, oh boy, here she come. How many times have we seen people walk in the room like that? So that's not the living out loud I'm looking to be known for.
Okay.
Right.
Oh boy, here she come. Oh boy, who wants that?
Nobody.
I don't want that.
No.
At all. That's good, Farrah. That is real
food for thought. That's great.
Speak it into existence. Live out loud. Yes, Suzette.
Yes.
We got to speak what we seek. And so as we continue the conversation, I want to know, as you're living out loud and you're doing your thing, from each one of you all, what legacy are you leaving, or do you plan to leave here? What legacy, as you're living out loud, what legacy are you leaving as a Black woman?
You know what? I'm gonna start again with my big mouth tonight. I was
big mouth.
You know what? Here I went with my BS yesterday, right? And this is true. This is transparency, because I was gonna call y'all and start with my loud mouth yesterday, but my daughter decided she didn't come over for Christmas yesterday, and that's a tradition for us, right? And I sat here in my feelings almost the whole entire day. But she invited friends to her house to be a blessing, and I couldn't see that, right? And then my sister-in-law said, you know what? she is entertaining people at her house like you used to do.
Right.
Mm.
And,
was
you know, I'm
taught.
like, wow,
Was taught.
it
That's
was taught,
good.
right? So, like, you know, our thing was opening up our house to people that didn't have anywhere to go. They didn't have a family per se on the holiday time. They were by themselves. And, you know, in her heart, that's what she really wanted to do. So I immediately got that because somebody else had to say it to me, right? So I want to leave that legacy of helping others. I mean, that's what I raised my kids that way, helping others, showing up to help others, living out loud with purpose and helping somebody else.
Absolutely.
You know,
I
our home
love
was
that.
always open to people, you know, someplace, a night to sleep, or just somebody who needed something, food, whatever it was, whatever we had to give. And she was doing that.
Wow.
You know,
I
she
love
was
it.
doing that.
That's
I
good.
love it. Now we're not telling y'all pick up people off the street, okay?
Yeah.
I want to put a little disclaimer out here, okay? She said back in the day, you know, back in the
Yes.
day we could do that kind of thing. We
Yes,
can't let
yes.
everybody
Yeah.
up
I don't know
there.
about now.
My daughter had people she knew and friends and that kind of stuff. Okay, so
Yeah.
I know y'all
Right.
know that. But somebody
And I told them they have to always have seed in the ground. Always have seed in the ground. Whether you're driving somebody somewhere, whether you're dropping them off, whether you're giving them a couple of dollars, always have seed in the ground, because I'm like, the seeds that I sowed, I know that I may never reap them, but my kids will.
Yes,
So
Right.
I have to.
absolutely.
I'm always
Right.
thinking about. I have to have seed in the ground.
Right.
I have to. You
Right.
know. So
Absolutely.
that's what I want to leave for my next. You know, my
I
next.
love it. And your seeds and everything you're planting, it is definitely making room for your children and children's children, as they say. And it's purpose in living out loud. So I
Yeah.
love that, Farrah. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Who wants to talk about their legacy as a Black woman? What you leaving because you're living out loud?
Yeah.
I'll go next. So as Farrah was talking, it kind of triggered some things. So I kind of wrote a couple of notes for myself to share with you all. So number one, first and foremost, is, being the best version of me that I could be, right? Whatever that looks like, the best version of me, and doing it authentically. And then doing unto others as I would have them, do unto me. So, making sure that I'm putting, good seed in the ground, right? And I want people to understand that good people still do exist, right? Because we experience many types of people where we're like, what, I'm not dealing with that group of people anymore. I'm not dealing because of this, because that, for whatever reason. But I want to, be an example that good people still do exist.
Yes.
And there was one other, and then doing what makes you happy. Because happiness, I believe happiness is a choice, and happiness comes from within. So if you're not happy with yourself, you can't be happy in any other type of relationship, whether it's a business relationship, it's a platonic relationship, it's a marriage, a friendship. You have to be happy with yourself. What does that look like, and what does that mean for you? So work on being happy for you. That way, when you're involved in other people's lives and situations, you're showing up already happy, and maybe you can spread a little extra joy into someone else's life. But happiness, do what makes you happy, whatever that looks like for you.
Absolutely.
Love that.
So the legacy, and when I think about it, and I think about, and I teach my kids this: be your first love.
I love that.
And that one, well, I've instilled that, and they can be their first love. Then they're not looking for the wrong love out in the wrong place. I want my kids to be successful. I want them to be self-sufficient and not have to depend on, and you fill in the blank. Okay. So that's what's important to me. And I want them to be the best that they can be. And so if I show them that, and I'm doing a good job at it, they're going to be showing other people that. And then when my grandkids come, which I'm still waiting on, by the way, when they come, then what I've instilled in my children, then they can instill it in theirs. So that's what's important to me.
Yes.
I love it. Y'all are saying some great things. Y'all are dropping some gems, because a lot of times people don't even realize the legacy that they're leaving. I mean, no matter what, you leaving a legacy. So you want to make sure that it's good. You want to make sure that it's great and that it's making a difference, Gayl.
Yes, the thing that stands out for me that I'm teaching, my children, and I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately for them, they watched me go through a very trying time during my life when I went through depression, grief, and anxiety. So what I had to do was to teach my daughters to actually believe in themselves and not get encapsulated in other people's view of who they are. And once
Yes.
they find out, take that time to really find out who they are and believe the things that they see for themselves. Everything that we go through in life, we are always in boot camp.
Yes.
God always has us going through boot camp because there's going to always be something we need to be prepared for. And in doing that, I want them to step into and own the fact that their gifts are the light. They will be the roadmap in somebody else's survival guide that they may
Yes.
never even know. But be the light. Somebody's traveling dark roads and unspoken battles that your story will absolutely turn the light on for them. Your
Yes.
story, your kind word, your smile, the
Yes.
time to ask when you ask someone how they're doing. Don't do a drive by how you doing.
No.
Say how are you and mean it and wait for the response. When I went through what I went through in 2021, it was a whole lot of drive-bys. And before I could even figure out whether I was going to answer them or not, all I saw was I saw they back. Okay. They
Mhm.
walked by, air was walking by. It was over.
Right.
So I
Right.
want my girls and the people that they touch to understand that we will constantly be growing through the things that we have to help other people go through. So when
Yes.
we are praying and asking God for this elevation and revelation and increase, you have got
Yes.
to know that you need to be prepared. We
Yes.
have to understand how to walk in it, how to grow it, how to develop in it, and how to share it. Know your gifts. Don't be scared to grow,
Right.
and don't be scared to acknowledge what you don't know, because that's how
Mhm.
you're going to learn. So that
Yes.
is I want to leave that legacy of living in a constant learning state. We are forever students when it's talking about focusing on God and what He has for us. Because if you made plans for God, you setting yourself up. You don't make plans for God. He makes the
Right.
plans for
Makes
you.
the plan. That's right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Amen.
absolutely, absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I know that God has great things for us. And I definitely know that God placed me here to be a kingdom enforcer. And I always say that I help women to get in alignment for their God-given assignment. And I try to make sure that I'm planting plenty seeds. And one of the things that I do, I love to give people a chance. I don't never feel like, oh my God, I can't do this. They're gonna be done. Do can't nobody do it like me, and can't nobody do it like Toya, Farra, Gayl, Tammy. Nobody. So I
Mhm.
don't think about that. So
Right.
as I move forward in life, if I can give people a chance, because what is very hard for people sometimes, people don't want to give people a chance these days. And so that's very, very important. When I did that first book, Girl, Get Up and Move, and people could get in that book for $97. Where you write a book for and get in and be an author for $97?
Nowhere.
Not too many places. But
Right.
I'm about giving people a chance. I'm about pushing people forward and helping you to walk in alignment for your God-given assignment. And another thing that I really, the legacy that we're leaving, myself and my sister, with our children, we leaving a legacy to hug them, to say I love you, to make sure that they feel like they can be heard, not just seen, but heard as well. We're listening, we're talking it out. And as I talked about at the beginning, having those open conversations, those things I couldn't talk about when I was younger because I would be seen as this, girl, what are you talking about? And I mean, we don't hold back here. We have
No.
conversations. I do that with my grandchildren as well. And so
Mhm.
when you teach people that they have a voice and that they can live
Yeah.
out loud, like you said, without actually being loud,
Being
it
that right.
makes so much of a difference. And so that's why we wanted to come on and talk about living out loud, because it's so very important. Living out loud is just really showing up for you, authentically being you, authentically, unapologetically, courageously doing you, being you, and also loving you.
Yes.
That is so very important. Toya, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want to give a quick testimony, if that's okay.
Of
Yeah.
So
course.
you just mentioned the book Girl Get Up and Move. So I want to share with everyone that was so I have a testimony relative to that. So during the time that Rynette was launching the anthology Girl Get Up and Move, we're currently 3 titles in, but the first title, someone had reached out to me and said, hey, there's this call for authors that I think you may be interested in. Well, during that time, it was during COVID. It was one of the most, how can I describe it? A very dark time for me. I'll say that. Okay. Very dark time for me. I had on my vision board, I had in my goals and my planning that for that year, I don't even remember which year it was now, since we've done so many.
2020.
For that year, 2020. Okay, for 2020, I had one of the goals was to become a published author. Because of my situation, I didn't see that coming to pass at that time, in that moment. When I got the message about the call for authors from someone with Rynette, I signed up, sent my information in, and when she told us what the title of the anthology was, Girl Get Up and Move, and it touched my soul, because I said, Lord, I said, I can't write an entire book right now, but if you give me the strength, I can write a chapter.
So good.
How can I tell someone to get up and move if I'm over here broke down, beat up, disgusted in the corner over here, self-pity and all of that? I said, if you give me the strength, I can't write a whole book right now, but if you give me the strength, I can do a chapter. So just the words, the title, Girl Get Up and Move. I was like, okay, how can I tell someone else to get up and move if I'm not doing it myself? So I was honored to be able to get past that situation, being able to tell a story, one of my stories in that great collaboration project. So Rynette, I've told you before, and I'm gonna tell you again, thank you.
Awesome.
Because that pulled me out of a really dark place, and I needed it at that time. And I didn't know Rynette to be, over anthologies at that time, but it was the connections that we had that brought us together. And so I'm just grateful. Thank you again, Rynette. But hopefully that will encourage someone else, because I tell people all the time, my clients, I say, you know what? Your story is important, and your testimony will bless somebody else, because somebody's testimony blessed me.
Yes.
Well, to piggyback off of that, LaToya, and I'll tell my story at a later date, but Rynette did not know that she helped me out in a big way. And she found out 4 years later, but we'll talk about it another time. And just piggyback off of what you're saying. Yeah. And she had no clue, but then she found out. She was like, wow. Yeah.
I love it.
See, Rynette, you have a lot of seed in the ground. And that's the thing is, it's not looking at, some things it's not about money, right? Some things it's about having that seed, because the seed is exponentially more than the one thing that you have in your hand. It's exponentially more.
Exactly.
And this is why we're doing this, ladies who are watching. We're doing this for you. We're doing this for you.
Right.
Most definitely, because we're doing this, but what is it you want to do? Tap into it. Don't feel that it's too much. It's never too much. And I tell people, because I say I'm AKA, y'all can't see it right now, but AKA the next level chick, baby. Because one thing about me, I'm allergic to average, ordinary, mediocre, status quo, all that kind of stuff. That ain't me. I don't care about people talk about I'm doing too much, because baby, I'd rather be doing too much than doing too little.
And you doing you.
You're doing too much, boo, you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
You better get like a next level, get on it. That's what I believe. Because I'm very meticulous about that, and I just don't like what everybody doing. What everybody got to do with me?
Yeah.
Amen.
Everybody doing me.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm in my own lane.
That's right.
Every day, all day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand it. It is okay to be in your own lane, doing your own thing. Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes. So y'all, we have completed episode 2.
Ooh,
Living out
what an amazing
loud.
episode.
Whoa.
And
Whoa.
we're going to still make it happen. What?
Beautifully.
Beautifully.
Yes.
Beautifully.
Love it.
Yes. Make it happen beautifully. I was gonna definitely. I'm glad you said that, Tammy. I was gonna get to that because that's how we doing it, making it happen beautifully. This whole thing, how we came together, God is has made this happen beautifully.
Oh,
and
yes.
so we want you to be in the space and place where you are making things happen beautifully. We are so thankful for all the ladies that have joined us. We want you to share it out. We want you to send in questions. We want you to send in topics that you might want to talk about. All of that. We'd love to hear from you. We love your comments. I finally was able to get on this page with Gayl and say a couple of things, but I wasn't able to comment too much tonight. Y'all know I'm a commenter. I always got something to say, okay?
We love you. We love you.
Thank y'all so much, y'all. We love y'all. We thank y'all. We don't take it lightly, and we appreciate it. We appreciate it. What Sonia said, yes, LaToya, Girl Get Up and Move was a special project indeed. Happy to be a part of it. And your story and her story was Be the Light, and it was
Ooh.
Yes, we had some amazing stories in there. It was like 24 authors. That was an amazing.
Wow.
Girl, Get Up and Move, going to your next level. We're not putting in a plug or nothing, but that was a good book. And that's the truth. And like I said, the whole deal was to help people to go to that next level and really help them get up and move.
And
it was a time during COVID, you know?
And did.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I was helping myself get up and move because that was a dark time for me as well.
Yes.
And just those authors coming around, and they pulled me together. It helped me to continue to even do the book because, you know, it was a tough time. And God knows what he's doing. He makes no mistakes. And so we just have to understand and see in front of us that what God said, it will and shall happen. That's depending on us if we continue. So no matter what, you got to continue the process. You got to believe. And so we're so excited to be here to help you to get your belief system up. Yeah, you know, belief system, the BS. And we'll be back next week, same time, same place. And we want y'all to join us and bring about 5-6 people with you too.
Yes.
We'll bring the energy.
They showed up tonight. They go Rachel. Hey, Rachel.
Crazy right now, but I know how to dance for real.
Hey, Rachel.
See y'all later.
Yes.
Bye.
See you guys.
Good night. Thank you, ladies. Keep it spicy.
Keep it spicy.
Spicy.
That is too funny.
Yay!
Thank you, ladies.
All right.
We still live.
Yes, we are.